Well, welcome back to another episode of Quirky Mama Chronicles, the podcast. I'm here with my special guest, Sylvia Kellerton. And, well, don't mind her today. She's just grumpy because she's got nobody to lean on. But anyway, that brings me to the topic that I wanted to talk about today with moms, basically, and feeling exactly the same way, like they've got nobody to lean on. Because, quite honestly, who is it you go to when you need someone to lean on? It starts as kids, you go to your mom. She's generally the one who's around. If it's a single dad situation or, a little bit of an outlier situation, yes, of course, there are other people who would take on that role, but I would say 9.5 times out of 10, it is the mom. Kids go to their mom. It's societally acceptable. This is what we do. This is absolutely fine. But the thing is that then everybody comes to mom, whether it's the partner, the spouse, the aunts, the uncles, the grandparents, colleagues, friends, whatever the case might be. At some point in time, she becomes everybody's person. She becomes the one everybody comes to. She becomes the one everyone relies on. And that's fine unless she is at the point where she feels like she's relying or would like to rely on somebody and there's absolutely nobody there for her. Or she's shamed for needing somebody because why would the person who everybody comes to need help? This has become a problem in our society where it's just taken for granted that, of course, mom is going to be there. Of course, she's going to have the solutions to everything. Of course, she's going to be more than happy to help people out. Of course, she's going to want to do these things. And yeah, that's how it starts. She wants to feel needed. Maybe she needs to feel needed. Maybe she's been programmed and raised by our society to feel needed, and that in doing that, she's become the good mom. She's the good parent. She's the good daughter. She's the good person that our society has told her she needs to be. She is there for everybody. She is giving to everybody. The problem is when this becomes expected without giving anything back. And that's unfortunately the situation that most moms are in right now. She may not have a problem with giving and she may want to give. She may feel like this, it's what she was meant to do. If she's absolutely loving her motherhood role, which I mean, I hope most moms do, if she's absolutely loving her motherhood role, this is probably exactly what she was expecting. This is probably exactly what she was hoping that she would do because this is what makes her feel special. This is what makes her feel like she's got worth. But the problem is when it becomes expected and nothing is being given back. And that's where we are right now. So we've got moms running themselves into the ground, being everybody's everything, being everybody's emotional support. Why be normal? She's everybody's everything, but she doesn't get to be her thing. And when she wants to be her thing, she's shamed for it. And then sometimes she's told, if she's lucky, like, hey, come talk to me, or hey, if you ever need help, or whatever the case might be. But then she doesn't get to do that because she's made to feel bad when she does. Whether it's a passing comment or an actual, like, direct comment or just an observation. Oh, wow, you sure needed a lot of help last week. Is everything okay? Like, these kinds of things are exactly what stops moms from asking for help, are exactly the kinds of things that lead us to the burnout. And then everybody wonders why we didn't just ask for help and why we felt like we had to take everything on our own. You can't insult somebody for getting help, even if it's meant as a joke or indirectly, and then wonder why they never asked for help. You can't decide somebody's got a problem when they reach out and ask you for help and then wonder why they're burning themselves into the ground. when you're raising someone, you can't expect them to be everybody's everything and then wonder why they're so burnt out. Emotionally, physically, mentally, moms are the kind of people that take a lot of things to heart. And it probably started back when they were a kid. They were probably trying to be the perfect daughter for whatever reason and were constantly made to feel like they weren't. And over time, it builds and it builds and it builds. And it's one of the reasons why they're going to try to be everything to everyone, because that's how their worth was measured. And that's how their worth is still being measured. The idea that it's expected that a mom is going to just take on these things without offering help unconditionally, without passing comments like there's something wrong with her. The idea that she's just going to do this is what is causing our burnout and what is causing us to run ourselves into the ground and feel like failures of a mom when we can't be as active or as present with our kids or as perfect as society wants us to be. Sometimes we get lucky, we find our coping mechanisms, like our emotional support stuff. Sometimes we're able to turn those feelings into kind of fun on our personality. Like, I would say I was someone who was always a little bit kind of on the silly, quirky side, and I've turned that into who I am. And that's fine, that's great, but it doesn't always work out that way. And it can take a lot to get to that point. It can take a lot of healing. So now we have these moms who are expected to heal, because otherwise there's something wrong with them. But they're doing it while they're trying to raise little human beings who literally rely on them for every single thing for their survival. And then again, we wonder why. Why does this person need help? Why is this mom not capable of dealing with her life choices? Blah, 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 blah. The point is, out of all of this, is that if somebody wasn't a mom and they asked for help, if somebody wasn't a parent and they asked for help, more than likely the help would be given, or at least it wouldn't really be questioned as to why they're reaching out and asking for help. This person was just a friend, a colleague, a family member, just someone, and they reached out for help. More than likely, I'm sure some form of help would be given, because as humans, we do like to help. For whatever the reason might be, we do like to help. There's a lot of us out there that just, we get it. We know times can be tough sometimes, and we know that, sometimes people just need a little bit of extra, and we're willing to do that. Like, we're willing to help. But it's almost like when somebody becomes a mom or a parent, whatever their situation might be, it's like as soon as they need help, it's because there's something wrong with them. And when we lose sight of that and start judging and deciding who needs help and who gets to lean on somebody else and that kind of thing, that's when things kind of get to be a problem. So I guess the takeaway from today's episode is just be nice. Don't judge. If somebody asks for help, like, as long as they're not taking advantage of you, just help, in any way that you can. And maybe you can't help them exactly the way that they want to be helped. I mean, hey, I'm sure a lot of us right now could be helped by a financial windfall, and that's just not going to happen for some of us. But, somebody buying groceries or, a little bit of money towards a bill, until the next time somebody gets paid, that kind of thing. Offering to drive somebody somewhere, just something to kind of make life a little bit easier. Like, as long as it's not burdening you either, or not like in an over the top kind of way. Like, just reach out, just see if someone needs help, just do it, here and there. Most moms are probably not going to accept it, or at least not at first, because exactly the reasons that I just talked about. They know what people think of them. They know that they're being judged. And so it can be really hard to want to reach out and accept this help. So, if they say no the first time, don't just take it as like, oh, well, I offered and I got snubbed. Like, really see the reasoning behind it. keep trying, reach out, put the hand out there. Maybe at some point they will take it. Um, Maybe not, but you did it, and that's what counts. Is that you were there, you did help, you were offered to help. They're gonna know that. They are going to appreciate that. Um, just be nice. Be a good human being.